Introduction.
Keep watching The Politics every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Good afternoon. I am Robert Press, co-host of this show. I am a political reporter. Here is my press card, the official New York City Police Department press card, which is going to expire on January 15th of next year. And the police will no longer be in charge of the media. It's going to be a special unit that Bill de Blasio put up. Okay, so we're going to have to go someplace else to get our press cards, and I wonder if the police will honor them. But let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Anthony RIVIECCIO. Anthony, tell us about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Of course, we hope Robert Press's card doesn't expire. Remember, you can get fired afterwards. Good morning, everyone. My name is Professor Anthony RIVIECCIO. Most people know me in the Bronx, living here for over a period of 40 years, being in charge, or I should say, founder of a wonderful political club here called Northwest Bronx Democrats. From another spectrum of my life, many people know me as both a financial advisor at the Financial Advisors Group, as well as a teacher of personal finance, both at Monroe and at Lehman College. At Lehman College, I start next week with the afternoon session.
Well, before we get into Bidenomics, which is our next subject, I want to ask Assemblywoman Natalia Fernandez a question. Why are you not answering my Freedom of Information letter I gave you on July 25th? Okay, you had 5 days to tell me what you're going to do, and it's now about 9 days or 10 days later. I want to know what written conversation by paper, email, or text that your office had with anyone from Fortune Society from November 1, 2021, that date that Councilman Jonai said he became aware of the Jacoby proposal to house inmates from Rikers Island at Jacoby Hospital to the present July 25th. Also, any conversations the same way the New York Health and Hospitals Corporation, Jacoby Hospital, and Mark Jonai. I am waiting for your answer. Otherwise, I will just go and solicit this from the hospital and Health and Hospital Corporation and ask Mark Jonai what he told you. All right? I want the answer, Assemblywoman Natalia Fernandez. Thank you. Let's get into Bidenomics, Tony.
Bob, before we get into Bidenomics, if you don't mind me asking you a question or two, did you, just out of curiosity, did you happen to, or let me ask you a two-part question. Number one, why did you foil Assemblywoman Fernandez, and did you do any follow-up with the councilwoman in the district that probably has more jurisdiction on this Jacoby project, Ms. Marjorie Velasquez?
The reason I asked Assemblywoman Fernandez is because the day after, or even the day of, that the Fortune Society was announced as the provider, she's taking a tour of Jacoby Hospital with the Fortune Society representative and has News 12 there, so she had to know about this beforehand. That's the reason.
Was the councilwoman with her?
Nope.
Do you know if the councilwoman has been advised?
I have not spoken to the councilwoman on this. I first want to know what Assemblywoman Natalia Fernandez knew, because she's running for state senate, in case you don't know. All right? And we can't have a person who's hiding information from the public, all right, or her voters, that as a, moving up to a higher office. Remember, she tried to be borough president of the borough, Anthony. So who knows? After Senate, maybe she's going to be just like Biaggi, Senator Biaggi, who she's trying to replace, and move up to Congress in a few years. So
I'm not overly specific with the FOIL rules. You said she has 5 days?
According to the rules, there's 5 days to respond, whether you're going to say yes, no, or get lost.
So it sounds like you're giving her maybe another 24, 48 hours. What would be the next steps after if you don't hear from her?
The next step is I'm going to foil Health and Hospitals Corporation, Jacoby Hospital, and Mark Jonai, since he's a former councilman and admitted that he knew about it in November. All right, and we both know that they are very close, Natalia Fernandez, all right, and Mark Jonai, okay? You know, and this is the Senate piece from Natalia Fernandez. You haven't gotten this, Anthony.
Actually, I have.
You have?
And as I've said off air, that looks like the same dress that she had on with the City and State recent issue that shows what's the word I'm looking for?
Attributes?
A healthier Miss Natalia Fernandez.
Well, here's the photo from the back. She's, well, she got insulted when I said to her one day that she looks very nice. So I don't want to be harassed by her. I don't want to harass her. I'm not going to say anything about how she looks. I'll just show you the photos like you said. Okay? But I do want an answer because we have hearings coming up on Jacoby. And I think the public should know what the Assemblywoman knew. It seems we know that the councilwoman knew nothing because Mark Jonai didn't tell her anything. However, when she took office, she should have known about it back in January. So
right, and I still don't think you've established the fact that at the time, Councilman Jonai maybe did not have a private conversation with the upcoming councilwoman. I mean, I don't know if they did or didn't.
No, he said he didn't. He left it for her. Okay, but let's go into our regular subject. We'll get back to this later in the show. We have a lot to talk about. So, Anthony, we have a lot more than just Bidenomics on our mind when it comes to the national scene.
That is very, very true. So how we got started with Miss Fernandez, I have no idea unless you were trying to relay her to Bidenomics.
No, I just wanted to foil.
There are some comparisons. We had a wild, wacky, think of Miss Fernandez's hair, right? All frizzy type of week, right? As we speak, we know, as of this morning's reports, that over 500,000 jobs were created this in the last 30 days. We also know, in comparison to that number and the last 2 years, we are now back, job-wise, at pre-pandemic levels. So everything we've lost in the last 2 years, according to government reports, we are now back at even keel. The reason why I say that is because many corporate reports have also come out this morning. And whereas the U.S. government says now we're at full employment at 3.5%, there are now corporations that, through their own studies, are estimating we are technically at 7%. And then, of course, during the week, we had a whole bunch of crazy things that were happening, right? Nancy Pelosi said, I'm going to Taiwan, which is now really Little China. And Big China said, oh, yeah? You're coming uninvited? No problem. Right? So there you go, right? And, of course, the markets responded to that. So we had here in stock market world and bond market world. And let me mention the bond market really, really quickly, because what is also happening this week, it doesn't get as much attention as other things, but I think it's very important. We'll talk more about it at Financial Focus University this evening at 5, is the yield curve. You know, the interest rate yield curve in a good world, in a sturdy world, is supposed to go straight up. You know, and you can think of that curve like you were loaning money to a bank. You know, the shorter you keep the money in the bank, the lower interest rate you're going to get. The longer you keep it in the bank, in theory, the higher the rate is going to get. Well, when it gets inverted like it is now, well, now short-term rates are higher than long-term rates, right? Hello, Federal Reserve. So what that means to people like me is that even if you say that we captured those jobs, and some people would debate, you know, double tracking, you know, can make up for a lot of these numbers. But notwithstanding that, you know, I think some people would say we may not be in that recession that you hear about, but we're definitely not in a growth pattern either. We are job-wise back to March 2020. However, our money isn't. And we'll talk about that at 5 p.m.
Well, Kevin Diola, welcome. And we want to say thank you for viewing and everyone else who's viewing. Now, what happened, though, to President Biden this week? I mean, he had COVID, he got over it, and then he caught it again. What did that do to the stock market, the president getting COVID for a second time?
Well, all the things I've mentioned, again, you got to think of the U.S. economy as a blender. When you think about it on a weekly basis, you can say this happened Monday, this happened Tuesday, and again, we'll go over that more on my show. But when you look at it for the week and put it all in a blender, generally speaking, it had a negative effect. Right now, as we speak for the week, even though we are now, according to the U.S. government, at full employment, just to show you how wacky our economic world is, as we speak, the market is down 0.6%. If the market closed right now, we would only be in a very small positive tone for the week at around 0.4, 0.5. But again, the market closes at 5 p.m. today. So
I mean,
I'm sorry.
I've already lost, Tony, I've already lost half of the money I made in 4 years of Donald Trump in 1 year of Joe Biden.
Well, sir, there's a very good reason for that. And if anybody out in our audience has the same problem, there's a very easy, simple solution to that. RIVIECCIO Financial Advisors, 347-575-5045. Come get your free 15-minute consultation. Go ahead, Bob.
Now, if Joe Biden was unable to continue as president, we would have Vice President Kamala Harris. And had the Chinese caught Nancy Pelosi and kidnapped her, who would be next in line? Do you know?
No, not at the moment, but I do believe it could be Chuck Schumer.
Chuck E. Cheese Schumer.
Right.
He's the Senate Majority Leader. He'd be next in line after Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
Imagine Chuck Schumer as President of the United States.
Well, what we're learning about Chuck is, if God forbid, right, if all of that happened, well, then we know we're going to have the first congressman from New York that's going to try to sing rap music to the United States of America, and just as a backup, because he always likes to be cautionary, he'll probably invite Borough President Ruben Diaz and again to join him as backup.
Well, I wonder if Schumer will ride his bike down to Washington like he does.
What Schumer would probably do is he'll probably give Borough President Gibson a call. As you know, the Hip Hop Museum just got a nice infusion courtesy of Adams and Gibson. So again, you need backup, you need singers, you need dancers. So, they'll all join in.
Well, let's talk a little bit about primary day coming up. It's early voting starts August 13th and runs through the 21st, and the primary itself is on the 23rd. A lot of people expect very few people to come out and vote. What do you think, Anthony?
I'm going to try to make my feelings and my words as simple as I can. I think people are totally confused. And I mean totally confused during the normal time, right? The period you just mentioned is not normal. Therefore, it's going to bypass a lot of people. Now, this is where it gets really confusing because I can't say the Board of Elections is not promoting it because they are. I've seen it online. I've seen it on TV. And I've also seen it in the mailbox. So I can't say they're not promoting it. But as I've also said off air, I think the problem with the Bronx on the whole is that we now live in a transient borough, sadly, where people live 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It used to be up to 7 years a couple of years ago. Recent reports I've seen in the last couple of months now say it's about 5 years. So if someone's living there for 5 years, they're thinking their next step. And that next step has nothing to do with voting. And that's sad because that's why people aren't coming out, because they're just,
Not even registering to vote.
Well, and then there is really no, emphasis for them to come out. Look at the numbers. The only time you saw the emphasis was when it was, oh my God, Donald Trump is running for office, and here in this wonderful borough, we had record numbers, right? But outside of the devil running for office, ain't no,
Well, what do you think, Tony? What do you think about the 12th congressional district? Will the fact that both Jerry Nadler and Carolyn Maloney, the two old timers, said that originally, we're not going to back Joe Biden because he's not going to run, and then recanted and said, well, if he runs, we'll back him. Whereas
you know what? It's going to be a very interesting race. But I have to tell you, I used to joke around, well, not joke around, but I used to try to explain to people my concerns with Mr. Biden. And again, it's got nothing to do with his capabilities. My concern with him is, like me, right? We all get old. And like me, you start to lose some of those facilities. And it's natural, you got to accept that. Well, guess what? I don't feel sorry for Joe Biden anymore. Now I feel sorry for Jerome Nadler. Jerome Nadler needs some pills immediately. He needs something to jive up his mind. I think he gets up in the morning and he thinks he's in Tijuana or something. Based on his performance on his most recent debate, I'm not even sure if he knows where he is right now. And that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. The media calls it gaffies or whatever name they give it. I call it advanced stage, and there's nothing wrong with that because, of course, we all have egos and and envy. I'm not happy I wake up every morning and see this gray hair, but that's what it is. It's called getting old. Or just hopefully you hope to age gracefully, understand your limitations. Sometimes, yes, it can sneak up on you very quickly. And it looked like it snuck up on Mr. Nadler very quickly, which of course now gives Carolyn Maloney an edge. But as and I'll talk about it more in our Northwest Bronx segment, I don't think it gives her a total edge because again, that congressional district is only 50% of what it used to be. So who's the common denominator there? The third person.
George Patel.
So it's going to be a very interesting race.
Now, we only have 2 weeks to go before this election, and we want to bring on both state Senate candidates. I understand you're talking to the Camilo camp, and I'm talking to the Gustavo Rivera camp. Gustavo Rivera's press secretary, campaign manager, sent me an email today about the show. And Gustavo, we want you on the show, but we're not going to tell you the questions we're going to ask you. And the same goes for Ms. Camilo. We're not going to tell you the questions we ask you. You want to come on the show? Come on. We've had Christian Amato. We've had John Perez. We've had Lisa Hofflick. These are all Senate candidates, or they were Senate candidates. We would love to have Natalia Fernandez come on, but obviously she's probably not going to come on since she doesn't answer my FOIL. But this is the
problem. You turned her into Krabby Miss Natty.
Well, Anthony, yesterday was the taping of the Bronx Net debate for the 34th Senate District.
Well, Robin, let me say before you go any further that in the last segment coming up, I'll be talking about those in more detail, both districts, and also the capabilities of one or both coming on the show in the next couple of weeks.
I am not going to say anything about the 34th district that Gary Axelbanks had his debate on. All I can say is that it starts Monday night, 9 p.m. on BronxNet. I think everybody should watch it. They'd be surprised by some of the answers that are given. And I'm not going to say anything more about that debate except watch the Bronx Talk debate Monday night at 9 p.m. It's rebroadcast throughout the week. I'll have probably the schedule on my blog at www.100%. blogspot.com, along with other things like the daily COVID numbers. We're up in the we're up in the high single digits, Anthony. The Bronx just came under 9%.
That's right.
Yes, but some of us are immune to the disease, Anthony.
Oh, stop it. Yo, stop it. Okay, I told you before, if there was anyone that was going to pass off as being immune and would have the legal right to say he's immune, it's Joe Biden. Because he's got more vaccine up his booty than you do eating Fruit Loops.
It's not vaccine.
So, and guess what? And guess what? Zap, COVID, zap. I don't have it. Zap, I got it again. Okay, so stop with the garbage.
No, that probably
now the war, Bob. This is now the war. I can call 311 and have the police come see you because there's an indoor mask law now, right? We didn't have an indoor mask law when it was at 1.9 when they closed all the schools because they were so terrified about 2.0. But now at 9.0, they want you to go to the baseball game.
Right. And no more testing for kids in school.
Good government. Good government.
But one more final thing about the primary. Okay. They've closed the loophole.
But let me ask you, because I honestly don't remember. With any of these candidates that we had on our show, did we ask them about how they felt about COVID and the numbers going up, down, and what they thought?
No, we didn't, Anthony, unfortunately. But that's the governor and the city. That's not really the state senate. Otherwise, we'd have the health commissioner.
Wait a minute now. That's not true because as Assemblywoman Natalia Fernandez has already claimed in her district, she's solving inflation.
Well, all I know is, Anthony, in one piece, as Assemblywoman Fernandez, she's telling us all about how she's spending money. Okay, This is the green piece where she's spending billions and billions of dollars, correct? Here, in this piece, she's telling us, a state senator, she's going to save money. So how can you spend money and save money? She's going to strengthen small businesses by creating job training programs, address the high property taxes, direct public safety to support local businesses. Well, yeah, when you want to defund them. Then she's going to make safe and secure neighborhoods, ensure police are capable and accountable, prioritize violence intervention programs, combat sexual harassment and violence. I'm sure the police are going to listen to her. Then she wants.
Well, wait a minute, Rob. Wait a minute, Rob.
There's more, Anthony.
She wants more furries. But wait a minute. Didn't she claim as Assemblywoman that she was working on these things already?
Yes. Well, she wants to spend money.
Then let me ask you. Year over year, right? Year over year, have the crime numbers in the 88th Assembly District gone up or down?
Way up.
Way up. So then it sounds like these methods that Ms. Fernandez has been advocating
aren't working.
Be working.
No. But let me get back to the loophole before we go to break. What happened was with the double primaries, a person could register from one party to another party up to primary day, August 23rd. But a judge has just closed that by saying that August 13th, the first day of early voting, will be the last day to change your registration. So still up until August 13th, people can change their registration. So all you Democrats, if you want Lee Zeldin in there, go vote for, well, pardon me, that's over with. Pardon me, my mistake. If you want one of these Senate candidates in, go change to the Democratic Party and vote for the Senate candidate you think is going to lose. All right, if you think Gustavo Rivera is going to lose, go re-register as a Democrat and vote for Gustavo Rivera. If you think Natalia Fernandez is going to lose, go vote for Natalia Fernandez or vote for one of her opponents. Okay, like I said, after this Bronx talk show, you may want to go out there and change your enrollment if you're a Republican to vote in the Democratic primary for one of the three candidates after you see that.
I would put it a little bit differently. Based on rumors I heard, you want to be able to do this very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, because if you do it based on this Bronx talk debate that comes out on Monday, I understand there's a living legend soldier candidate that was in this debate. shooting bullets and it hit everything but the target.
Well, I can't say anything.
Why can't you
about
say
the debate.
anything? I heard as ad hoc campaign manager you were there.
No, I'm not a campaign manager for anybody.
But you were there.
Yes, I was there.
So give us the scoop.
I was there along with other people.
Give us the exclusive.
No, I can't, Anthony.
Why not?
Anthony, I can't. You have to watch Bronx Talk Monday night and the rest of the week.
So then how did the military man shoot his bullets? Did he get his target?
I can't say, Anthony.
But you were there.
If you want to talk about John Perez, on tomorrow at 11 a.m., his father, Freddie Perez Sr., will be honored with a street co-naming.
And Freddie should be honored, and most of the family should also be honored. And yes, that also includes John.
It'll be Freddie Perez Jr., his brother, John, and his sisters. All right, the family is going to come. There's going to be a big celebration for his father. And his father was shot and killed trying to organize the private car service. All right, this was a man who was ahead of his time, who wanted to unionize the private cabs.
You mean his father?
Yeah, senior.
Right.
All right, and there were people who didn't want that. And back in the old days, that's what happened. You went out, you warned the guy, and then you just took care of him, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But tomorrow at 11 a.m., East 156th Street and 3rd Avenue will be the unveiling of Freddie Perez Way. All right, that's something that the family.
But you don't want to give a Bronx exclusive, right? But you'd rather do promotion, right? But you don't want to give a Bronx exclusive, even though everybody knows that you were there, and most people know you're the ad hoc campaign manager.
Why don't you give Gary Axelbank a call and ask him how his debate went?
I'm asking you. You were there.
I have been sworn to secrecy, Tony.
Oh, sworn to secrecy.
Because next week is the 33rd Senate debate, okay, that they're taping. So I hope to be there to watch how Gustavo Rivera reacts. If you remember, in the first debate, Gustavo basically started out well, but kind of lost it at the end. He was ridden out, as people call it. In the horse race.
Let's hope by the time the next debate comes in, he eats a couple of more of his not 62 hamburgers, and he'll be ready to go.
All right, Anthony. Let's see. We're coming up to the halfway point, so let's go to a commercial break right now, and say we'll be right back after the commercial break.
In a world where the quality of information available to poorer communities is doctored, tainted, and sometimes regressive, where the words fake news have come to mean other people's opinions, it is vital to rely on news platforms with journalists who have feet on the ground and can report the truth. New York Parrot, a New York-based national and global news outlet, is changing the narratives of media operations. We focus on the news that matters, like self-empowerment, entrepreneurship, finances, health, security, politics, and more. We strive to curb violence, racial and economic discrimination, and to promote peace and socio-economic development of multiculturally diverse world. As we give voice to the people, we also give your business a voice and make it heard. Get your products and services off the ground by advertising on our fast-growing platform. With so much of daily visits to New York Parrot, you can't afford to be invisible to prospective clients on the website they trust the most. Our posts reach millions of people across the New York State and around the world. Advertising on our new site will unlock an audience of thousands of potential customers on your doorstep. New York Parrot is born to prosperously speak tomorrow for the voiceless. All roads lead to the land of Terenga, the home of hospitality. Join us as we put Senegal in the brightest spotlight in Africa for the historic inaugural Daylight Africa Week, also known as Transatlantic Family Reunification Week. an African Open House Week. Daylight Africa Week event is scheduled to be officially launched in the Senegambia region of Africa, specifically in Dakar, in the first week of September 2022 at King Fahd Palace Hotel, Dakar, Senegal. Founded by African Union Day Foundation (AUDF) in New York City, the historical event will be graced by numerous diaspora Africans, American citizens, spiritual leaders, and some New York elected officials who have shown interest in visiting Africa and exploring its grandeur. President Macky Sall, current chairman of the African Union, shall lead the launching of the most transformative initiative for the continent. Join us for the epoch-making event, which features orientation and dinner with Senegalese President, Daylight Africa Week and STEM Up Africa Luncheon Celebration, visitation to Gorée Island and sightseeing, meeting with American Ambassador and dinner with the press in Gambia, African Union Day celebration with the First Lady and Odon Nalia Award, and so much more. African Union Day Foundation, a pan-African non-profit organization committed to promoting Africa and anything Africa. For more inquiries, call +171 88225555 or email us at daylightafrica@gmail.com. Be there.
Are you curious about financial literacy? Then take a look at Professor Anthony RIVIECCIO's new program on Parrot TV. It's called Financial Focus University. This is an excellent program to learn about questions related to your own finances post-COVID, if how you can manage your money, how you can work with your tax situation. And this is an excellent and informative discussion of financial literacy. With Professor Anthony RIVIECCIO, your financial problems will be solved at Parrot TV with Financial Focus University.
Anthony, I just want to take a minute here before we go into National Night Outs, because you were at the 52nd, I was at the 49th. I want to talk a little bit about Jacobi Hospital and the Just Home plan. This is a plan that has come out. It's changed a little. The community doesn't know what's going on. Many people have the feeling that they're trying to put Rikers inmates at Jacobi Hospital. The pamphlet, the Just Home pamphlet, says, well, it's going to be sick people, really, they got one foot in the grave. They need kidney dialysis. They need other things. But you know what? The problem is, if they're going to need services at Jacobi Hospital, what's going to happen to the people who are currently getting those services and community people? I know that my health plan has Jacobi Hospital as a dental agent. So I went to Jacobi Hospital and I was told, well, just sit down. You may get called today. You might have to come back. You might have to come back another day. I called my friend John Doyle up and said to him, what's this? And he said, well, let me see if I can make you an appointment. I got a call a couple of weeks later from the dental clinic wanting to give me an appointment, but that's when I got my eye surgery. As you see, I'm not wearing glasses anymore. I got my eye surgery, and I said I can't make it. And then I got a call from the head of the dental unit saying that we have a 1-year wait on dental. We make no appointments. So how are these people coming from Rikers going to get dental work? How are they going to get dialysis if dialysis machines have a 6-month waiting period? Are they taking services away from the community? Jacobi currently has 457 beds in operation. They take 540,000 clinical visits a year and 102,000 ER visits a year with 1,772 births. And, there's nothing on Jacobi's website about this Just Home and nothing about HHC. I look up Just Home and I get a place in Jersey. Okay. Now, Tuesday, the 9th of August, there's going to be a Health and Hospitals Housing Committee meeting on WebEx. You can go to the Community Board 11 website to find the agenda and the link. Just go, when you get to the website, hit agendas, and you'll see the agenda for this hospital. Tuesday, August 16th, they're having a public hearing, Community Board 11 at Maestro's. Again, that is on the website. Now, Sunday, August 7th, the community is organizing a rally This is the Morris Park Community Association, Pelham Parkway Community Association, Van Ness Community Association, the task force against the homeless shelter that's continued because we have this problem at Jacoby. We are urging people to come out and march with us into Jacoby Hospital to say we don't want this project here. We want more information because we know nothing about it, just that you're bringing people from Rikers and that's it. Now, my question would be, if people are coming from Rikers, they're getting the service at Rikers right now. When Rikers closes down and the airport runways get put in, okay, why can't these borough jails handle these people? Aren't there going to be facilities at these borough jails for these sick people? I don't know, so it's a real big mess that it seems like it's a de Blasio mess that they was trying to put on.
No, Bob. Let me help you a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because again, you're sadly looking at a person that's lived it for 30 years. So let me tell you how it's going to work. You're looking in the wrong place. Okay? You're looking for development information. Right? Listen to the words I'm using. You're looking for development information. You're looking for real estate information on a health platform. No. You need to go to where Monty was 20 years ago and where they are today, where Jacoby will be 10 years from today. And what that is a real estate landlord.
It's
That's
a little.
what that is. If you come to what I lovingly call Monty Land, right after 207th and Bainbridge, yeah, on the surface, some of it still looks like it did 30 years ago. Because as you see what's happening in some areas of your neighborhood, why try to fight the zoning? Why try to fight the community when I can just buy the home, keep the home the way it is, just fix up the inside, and guess what? It's a clinic. Guess what? It's a group home. Guess what? It's a methadone clinic. And then of course with all these clinics, eventually you need parking. And then of course as you expand, then the doctors want to live over there, right? Not, and they want to live there for the money. Trust me, they don't want to live there for the neighborhood. They'll realize later they don't want to be near
their second home
out now in Montyland.
Their second home that they don't have to keep traveling back and forth.
Right, but we're even finding out that today they don't want to stay there either.
No.
You're looking in some ways in the wrong place for additional real-time
Anthony, one difference between Montefiore and Jacoby is Montefiore is a private hospital. Jacoby is a city.
Oh, Bob, stop it. As I said to you off air, and I have no problem saying it on air, okay? They were originated as a private hospital. They will die labeled as a private hospital. They are the fourth largest Medicaid, Medicare service provider in the United States, right? So Jacoby Land. Oh, that's how Monty did it, right? De Blasio was nowhere around, right? That's how Monty did it. Oh, so okay, we're not private, we're public. We'll have to do a little bit differently, but this is how we're moving. And sadly, Bob, and I wish your area a lot of luck, because you guys are on phase one of a sad downhill projection.
All right. Well,
I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck in that.
Let's quickly just give a little hint about what happened at National Night Out. You want to say what happened at 49th Precinct?
No, because I don't live there. You do.
I mean the 52nd Precinct. My mistake.
Bob, the 52nd Precinct National Night Out, generally speaking, went very, very well. The boundaries of the 5-2, when you talk about the Bronx and the central part of the Bronx, you would say from the most southern part, northern part, it would be Gun Hill Road. From the most southern part, it would be 183rd. So, every district has its characteristics. and the community council who held it tried to have it in a neutral location, a basic centralized location, Beale Park. Now, of course, if you are politically familiar with the area, I'll talk more about this in the next segment. It's been so over gerrymandered for the last 30 years that, we don't have one councilman, we got 39. We don't have one assembly person. I think we might have 42. And of course, they came as the day went by. Funny little joke, Bob, and I think it applies to yours as well. This was the first, to my knowledge, national night out that happened in the afternoon. I wonder why. Right? So that should tell you how it went on our side. With very little promotion, it was a decent but small turnout. A lot of northern people didn't want to come because they didn't feel like traveling, but some did. The southern part of the district knew very little about it. Of course, when you're having that type of party, you're just going to walk by, see the party, and then maybe want to participate. So I would honestly say we had more of that. And of course, don't get me wrong. There were free hot dogs, free cotton candy, free hamburgers. I went with my adopted niece, Mima. We had a great time, and there were a lot of children there, and I would say the children had a great time. Again, the muckety mucks were scattered. They came in and out. When you talk about council people, Councilman Dinowitz was there. Councilman Feliz was there. When you talk about assembly in that neck of the woods, you're looking at the new assemblyman, George Alvarez. Congressman Esteyot stopped by for a few moments, or President Gibson stopped by for a few moments. And I will say there was never a lull. There were always people moving, but I've seen it bigger in other years.
Okay, that's as far as the 49th Precinct Council. We ended the night at the National Night Out. Ours lasted from 6 to 12. I saw the schedule somewhere in the afternoon, somewhere early afternoon, some later afternoon, but that was so people can get around the events. For instance, Borough President.
I think because people were responding to the crime stats.
Well, Borough President Gibson came to ours, and she said it was her 10th visit to a national night out. So she made 10 out of the 12 national night outs in the Bronx. Senator Gustavo Rivera said it was 5 that he made. Councilman Feliz was there. He didn't say how many, nor did State Senator Jamal Bailey. And we had the Assemblywoman Natalia Fernandez, who of course was at the 45th before the 49th, because that's the part of the Senate district that she's running in. Okay, and she also, I believe, was at the 43rd, which is also in the Senate district, part of the 43rd. So, that's why she made those 3 stops rather than just one, the 49th, which is her assembly district. If we have the photos, all right, the 3 community affairs officers were presented certificates of merit by Borough President Gibson. That was on the flyer, on the ad that we had, the slick that I put up promoting this show. Then the other 2 photos would be of the 49th Precinct Community Council President, Joe Thompson, at the cotton candy machine. Okay, all we had was cotton candy, popcorn, and Italian ices. We didn't have hot dogs and hamburgers. Mark Jordan, the councilman, with his hot dog truck. We also, Councilwoman Marjorie Velazquez was not there because she has COVID. So, I wonder if she caught it from President Biden or not. But
well, we do know she didn't catch it from visiting Jacoby, right?
Now, here we go. There's Joe Thompson at the cotton candy machine. And then, there's the awards to the 3 officers and all the people present. The person on the left is Captain Kentish, the recently established commander of the 49th Precinct. And towards the end, as the last dance was coming on, you see Joe Thompson cutting a rug with Borough President Vanessa Gibson. I mean, this had to be one of the best photos of the night. The 2 of them cutting the rug. Joe is in his 80s, and he held up with the young, vibrant Borough President Vanessa Gibson. All right, we got to give Joe Thompson a lot of credit for this. Joe really worked hard that night. He went all over. He was doing a lot of things. There were a lot of community organizations. But I must say one thing. State Senator, Assemblywoman Natalia Fernandez came with a certain person that she was promoting that you know very well, a district manager from Community Board 7, that she was introducing to all the neighborhood organizations. And I wonder why, because, again, if she wins the state Senate, there's going to have to be a replacement for her in the assembly race. So could this be that she brought Aisha Bravo to introduce her to the community of the 80th Assembly District so they would get to know her and like her, and possibly when the voting comes by the county committee, well, I don't know, there's only 30 county committee out of 100 and something. So I don't know if there's even going to be a Democratic candidate. They don't have enough county committee. So, but we'll see if, and I say if, Natalia Fernandez, the Assemblywoman, becomes the state Senate candidate, because she would have to give up the assembly. And then we'll see what happens.
So let me ask you a question. If we take your presumption to be true, then would that mean that Aisha Bravo would have to run in November against the Republican challenger?
Yes. Well, there was also John Sicaro Jr. at the event. He was talking up himself to people because it's understood that John, well, he wanted to be the assemblyman in the past, but, there wasn't an opportunity with an open seat. He could be pushed right in. I'm sure Councilman Salamanca has a lot of pull now with county. This would be a good way if he gets Assemblyman Sicaro in, then he's got a good shot against Borough President Gibson in 3 years, if that's what they choose. Okay, I think Borough President Gibson has to wake up and see what Raphael Salamanca is doing, because he's gone in 3 years. Okay, he can't run again for his council seat. He has to either run for Borough President or run for, say, Public Advocate or somewhere else. And I don't want to take up any more time because we're going into the Northwest Bronx Democrat segment. So take it away, Anthony, and show us your pin that you're wearing.
Oh, I'm not wearing my Northwest Bronx Democrat pin, but I will be from now on at this segment. I'm wearing my Lehman College pin, which actually makes me an official professor today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Northwest Bronx Democrats Says segment. This will be a continuing series. It will generally be around this time of our show. This week, I just want to talk to you for a few minutes about the 34th and 34th State Senate District. And before I go into detail, let me tell you the current position of Northwest Bronx Democrats when it comes to vote of defeat and the challenges therein.
Brewster, could you please give us your...
Was that from Brewster's Millions, the movie?
I believe it was, and I'm hoping we could try that again. Because, there you go.
Reasons for your sudden and unexpected candidacy?
I figure voting for Salvino or Heller is just as silly as them running for office, which is just as silly as me running for office. The only thing not silly is the power of the people's vote. And I think the people should use it to vote for none of the above.
Mr. Brewster, are we to understand that you actually don't want anyone to vote for you?
What I'm saying is I think only an idiot would vote for me.
Mr. Brewster, have you taken positions on any of the issues facing the city? Sanitation, union corruption, urban renewal.
Let's get to the bottom line, right? I'm here to buy your vote.
With only 10 days, Mr. Brewster, with only 10 days left before the election, how do you expect to find that kind of support for that position?
I don't expect to get support. In fact, I'm asking people not to send money into my candidacy. I think the people should keep their money. They're going to need it after this election.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Northwest Bronx Democrats' position on the 33rd and 34th Senate District is basically vote for none of the above. The reasons why are very complicated. We will try to make it simple. If you have not seen the Senate district maps or are not aware, in the 33rd and 34th, over 30% of the district has changed. So you might wake up on election day and may not know the district you're even in. The reason for this, ladies and gentlemen, is because as the court even said at the end of their final say with the map, this area was been over gerrymandered for the course of the last 40 years. So 1/3 of these districts are not familiar to anybody. When we talk about the 33rd State Senate District, we talk about the West Side. We're talking about two candidates, Miss Emilio and Mr. Gustavo Rivera. Mr. Gustavo Rivera says he's been representing that neighborhood for 11 years. Well, as I just said to you, and he'll say it himself if you ask him, that's not true because over 30% of it he has not represented in the last 11 years. Miss Emilio, though, has all the Bronx Democrats supporting her. If you get her recent literature, and if you live in the district now, you're probably getting it every other day, she's got everybody endorsing her. Everybody. I mean, I'm waiting for Pat Lynch, to come out there and endorse it too, right? I don't know why she's so popular with the Bronx Dems. She's lived in Riverdale for 7 years, but she hasn't done any community work in 7 years. She hasn't been a member of the local political club there, the Ben Franklin Club, in the last 7 years. So I don't understand how the Bronx Democrats could feel she's a good option. But we also have to remember, Miss Camilio has also said, Gustavo, I agree with you. We need health care. But you've been working on health care for 10 years. So where is it? Well, I got to agree, considering our state senator still might be working on his Not 62 program, which has been a dismal failure for the last decade. When we talk about the 34th, ladies and gentlemen, the East Side, let me summarize. This is not the old Jeff Klein seat. When Ms. Fernandez decided to take that seat, I believe that's what she thought. Now, of course, like the other candidates, they're finding out 50% of it is brand new, right? Castle Hill wasn't there before, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff there that wasn't there before. And you got 3 candidates there that are now trying to figure it out. Christian Amato, John Perez, and our wonderful assemblywoman by the name of Aunt Natty Fernandez. They're all trying to figure out what is wrong with that district that's brand new. And at a recent debate, they all said the #1 problem was climate change. And ladies and gentlemen, I've lived in that district for 35 of the last 40 years. And A, I wouldn't say climate change is the way. And B, even if you believed it is, I don't know on a state capacity how you could do that. But we'll talk about that in 1 second. Now, John Perez says, well, climate change is the #1 problem. And I've been working on this for 20 years. Well, I guess we're still waiting for it to work, right? Christian says, well, part of what we're going to do with climate change is with this generational push we're going to make. So we're going to use new technology to change climate, and we're going to use new technology to create money. He's a very big advocate on Bitcoin. And then, of course, our wonderful Aunt Natty, she believes that state government can work. When she put recently, when she was a state assemblywoman, she solved inflation. Ladies and gentlemen, did your hamburgers go up or down in the 80th Assembly District? Yeah, that's the answer a lot of people got. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not like I said, it's not the Jeff Klein district. Northwest Bronx Democrat says, vote for none of the above. Bob, back to you.
All right, Anthony. I do live in the 34th State Senate District. I'm on the east side of Williamsbridge Road. The west side of Williamsbridge Road is where the 33rd State Senate District begins, which is crazy because, you're just splitting Morris Park in half, basically, and you're diluting my community, all right? However, the one thing, and this is what probably your Aunt Natty didn't figure, she's only got 20 blocks of the 80th Assembly District in her Senate race, all right? It's only Indian Village. okay, that she has. If you go above Pelham Parkway, it's Jamal Bailey's district. If you go across the street from where I am, like I say, Indian Village, it's the 33rd State Senate District.
Well, Bob, like I indicated, I mean, some of our younger audience may not be aware of this, but Natalia Fernandez was hand in hip with IDC Chairman Jeff Klein, who was a senator of the 34th Assembly District. So I firmly believe that she believed that when she decided to run for that seat, she was thinking the old Jeff Klein seat. She was saying, oh, I've been traveling these things with Jeff.
Well, Anthony.
And now, of course, realizes, no, it's not the old Jeff Klein seat.
Let me just say one thing, Anthony, about your Aunt Natty. Okay? She was, as you say, she supported Jeff Klein. She came with assembly petitions with Congresswoman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, and now she's supported by county. So which side does she stand on? Is she with the Democrats?
Well, I don't know if she's supported by county. I get information on Miss Camilio's campaign that's got Bronx County pounded all over. Miss Fernandez, you could even show the recent literature you got. I don't see any county.
Nothing on here about Bronx County. You're right.
Exactly. So, perception is one thing, reality is another. I can show you Miss Camilio's thing right here on my desk, where it's all, you got 1 million endorsements, including Bronx County. So I really believe they didn't support Ms. Fernandez in the beginning, and it's not a big secret that they didn't support her in the beginning. And I truly don't believe they support her now. Now, is she trying to work within that? Yes, she is. And that's another story for another time. But as of right now, I don't believe she has.
Well, I will tell you, Anthony, she's getting money from the Carl Hasty PAC, from Senator Bailey, and from the Bronx Democratic County Organization. But that money is being funneled out into consultants. And guess who is one of the consultants for the Bronx Democratic Party? Jason Lavely, the former chief of staff to Jamal Bailey. You're funneling money to your former chief of staff through a consultant. I think maybe that should be investigated by the New York State Board of Elections, how this money from Natalia Fernandez is going. Plus, Natalia Fernandez, on her statements, it says from the New York State Board of Elections, needs more explanation. There are a lot of things that are left blank, and other that says just miscellaneous needs, and then they put in needs more explanation. So if one looks at Natalia Fernandez's campaign finance disclosure statement, you'll see where this money is coming and where it's going. Okay, Hamilton consultants, this consultant, that consultant, every consultant. And guess who? Like I said, Jason Lavely is now a consultant working for the.
Right, just out of curiosity, is she paying consultants now or for her assembly campaign, which she ran unopposed, or both?
Well, what she has done, Anthony, she had $8,000 in her assembly campaign. And because she went from one state race to another, she's allowed to move that assembly funds into a state senate funds. Okay, so people who gave her money to run for the assembly have now given her money to run for the state senate. Okay, that's allowed. She can't take it for a city, or she can't take it to the federal government because those are separate. But in the state, you can run for one office and get money and use that money to run for another state office. And that's exactly what she's done. Now, some have called her an illegitimate candidate because she never went out and got petitions. She got 0 signatures. And I believe it's Mr. Perez who calls her an illegitimate candidate. But as our time is running out, Anthony, I'm going to say goodbye. Do you have any final comment quickly, Anthony, because our show is ending?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want everybody to have a good weekend. Stay safe. And if you want to be educated on your money, see us at 5 p.m. today.
And if you want to join the Jacoby rally on August 7th, it's outside 1900 Seminole Avenue, which does not exist. It's an address that Jacoby and the Health and Hospitals Corporation made up. and we're going to march into Jacoby. And thank you for watching. That's August 7th, 11 a.m. outside the back of Jacoby Hospital on Seminole Avenue. Thank you and goodbye.
All roads lead to the land of Terenga, the home of hospitality. Join us as we put Senegal in the brightest spotlight in Africa for the historic inaugural Daylight Africa Week, also known as Transatlantic Family Reunification Week and African Open House Week. Daylight Africa Week event is scheduled to be officially launched in the Senegambia region of Africa, specifically in Dakar, in the first week of September 2022 at King Fahd Palace Hotel, Dakar, Senegal. Founded by African Union Day Foundation (AUDF) in New York City, the historical event will be graced by numerous diaspora Africans, American citizens, spiritual leaders, and some New York elected officials who have shown interest in visiting Africa and exploring its grandeur. President Macky Sall, current chairman of the African Union, shall lead the launching of the most transformative initiative for the continent. Join us for the epoch-making event, which features orientation and dinner with Senegalese President, Daylight Africa Week and STEM Up Africa Luncheon Celebration, visitation to Gorée Island and sightseeing, meeting with American Ambassador and dinner with the press in Gambia, African Union Day celebration with the First Lady and Odon Nalia Award, and so much more. African Union Day Foundation, a pan-African non-profit organization committed to promoting Africa and anything Africa. For more inquiries, call +171 8822 5555 or email us at daylightafrica@gmail.com. Be there.
Are you curious about financial literacy? Then take a look at Professor Anthony RIVIECCIO's new program on Parrot TV. It's called Financial Focus University. This is an excellent program to learn about questions related to your own finances post-COVID, how you can manage your money, how you can work with your tax situation. And this is an excellent and informative discussion of financial literacy. With Professor Anthony RIVIECCIO, your financial problems will be solved at Parrot TV with Financial Focus University.
In a world where the quality of information available to poorer communities is doctored, tainted, and sometimes regressive, where the words fake news have come to mean other people's opinions, it is vital to rely on news platforms with journalists who have feet on the ground and can report the truth. New York Parrot, a New York-based national and global news outlet, is changing the narratives of media operations. We focus on the news that matters, like self-empowerment, entrepreneurship, finances, health, security, politics, and more. We strive to curb violence, racial and economic discrimination, and to promote peace and socio-economic development of multiculturally diverse world. As we give voice to the people, we also give your business a voice and make it heard. Get your product and services off the ground by advertising on our fast-growing platform. With so much of daily visits to New York Parrot, you can't afford to be invisible to prospective clients on the website they trust the most. Our posts reach millions of people across the New York State and around the world. Advertising on our news site will unlock an audience of thousands of potential customers on your doorstep. New York Parrot is born to prosperously speak tomorrow for the voiceless.